Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys how to get your impossible square onto your illustration board. So you guys have a small piece that you got. This is just reference for the value scale. Okay, you have the larger printout, which is what we're gonna trace today. And then you have your illustration board. It's 10 by 10. It says crescent on the back, okay? And you also have a gray piece of paper in your folder to use as a placemat to protect your surface at home so you don't ruin your dining room table, okay? So the first thing we're gonna do is, you can use a ruler for this if you want to. I'm just gonna eyeball it for right now, but make sure there's like about, I don't know, an inch or so on either side of your Penrose square and the edge of the illustration board. So I'm just gonna eyeball that and kind of center it. Then you need a little piece of tape. Well, 2 little pieces of tape actually. And we're gonna tape this down so it doesn't move. Okay. Then we're gonna take, I think we made transfer paper in the beginning of the year. So if you guys have this, you're gonna use the transfer paper. If you don't have transfer paper, not a problem. All you have to do is, well, before you tape it, is on the back of the paper, wherever the lines are, use an ebony pencil and just scribble along the edge of the shape. You don't have to do the whole thing, just the lines, the important lines that you know need to be transferred. So if you cover the back with graphite, it will also work as a transfer. So you can use, you have the tracing paper with the graphite all over it already, use that. If you don't have that, on the back of the paper with a nice soft graphite pencil, the ebony pencil works really well for that. Okay, so once that's all done, you would line it up again and tape it down. Okay. Now we're gonna trace this, and we wanna use a ruler or a straight edge for this part because we wanna make sure all of the lines that we transfer are perfect and nice and crisp. Okay, so if you have the graphite scribbled on the back, you're good to go. So I'm just gonna show you what that looks like if I transfer. So I'm gonna line my ruler up with the edge of my shape. I'm gonna use a pen. I'm not gonna use a soft pencil for this. I wanna use a nice sharp pointy pen. And I'm gonna draw a straight line to trace the outline of my shape. Now because I had the graphite on the back, here, it transfers the line beautifully, okay? So you can do it that way, or you can use the transfer paper. So you wanna trace all of the lines of your shape. And we're gonna make sure our ruler is right on the edge of that shape and carefully draw those straight lines. We're going to draw the inside lines too because those are an important part of our design. And this is graphite, so if you make a mistake with transferring, like you went over too far with the line, no worries, you just erase it before you start painting so you don't get confused. So this is an optical illusion, right? It's called an impossible square or Penrose square. They also have triangles and stuff like that. And it's all about how we do our values to create that illusion of this square that just could never exist in real life, in real space, right? Because where the shadows and the highlights are, it's kind of crazy. All right, so I'm gonna just double check, make sure that's transferring well. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I'm gonna keep on going with that. Okay, so now that your outline is done, you are ready to start figuring out how to use your paint. So you guys have complementary colors to work with plus white. So we're going to create shades and tints using the complement and the white So you're gonna pick one color to do the background. So I have red and green, so I might decide to do my background red, and I would do red plus white in the background, and then my object will be a green object using red to develop the really dark areas, and then also some white in the highlight areas. But first, we are going to do a practice value scale in our sketchbook. So at this point, you can put this away, okay? Don't get paint on it. And then we're gonna get our sketchbook out and do our value scale.